had an issue with my microphone. So I am going to hang out for a second before I get started. I'm waiting to start because I want to make sure y'all can hear me. And because last week I had an issue with my microphone. So my microphone's working. Yay. Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee and Chat with Hallie Bridgham, and I'm so happy you could join me. I have my cup of coffee, so I hope you have a cup of coffee or tea and you have a few minutes while we chat. I'm coming to you from my home office in Fort Knox, Kentucky, where I have been super duper busy. This last weekend was the Write Like a Pro Writers Conference. My son Jonathan must be on YouTube because he's saying hello from YouTube. Hi, Jeb. And I'm glad that you're telling me that you can hear me because that's very cool. I appreciate that. Last week was crazy with the volumes. I think what happened was that I had been using my Dragon dictating software, and I think that it had grabbed my microphone and it didn't let it go. So next time I'll restart my computer and let everything like reset before I go live. So anyway, yay, it's working. All right, so last weekend was Write Like a Pro Writers Conference. Greg and I ran it. And so we had from 8:30 every morning until 9 or 10 the first night, and then midnight the second night. We had multiple classes, sometimes 4 classes at a time going, webinars, panels. I taught twice. I sat on a panel. I moderated a panel. So it's like yesterday I had this huge to-do list, and I managed to get done like half of it because I was just slap exhausted. I was exhausted. So I laid around on the couch. I'm in this. So my husband put all of our movies on this server called Plex, on a server in our home, but we watch them through a program called Plex. And so we have several hundred movies. And I said, wouldn't it be fun to watch them in alphabetical order? So I started, you would be surprised at how many movies start with a number. And so yesterday I finally got to A's and I watched A Dog's Purpose. And yes, I know that if it was in a library, the book would be filed under D for Dog's Purpose, comma A, but we don't have it set up like that in Plex. So the first letter A was A Dog's Purpose. And then the next movie I'll watch is An Affair to Remember, which is kind of fun because it's a classic that I have never seen. And I'm a huge classic movie lover, so I'm really excited about seeing that one. So yeah, I was completely exhausted from the weekend, and I have a book launch this week. So it was like I had so much stuff to do to get ready for that book launch. And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about Five Gold Rings is a Crossroads collection. So those of you who, hey, good morning, Susan Tisdale, she of the Write Like a Pro Writers Conference. I'm so happy you're here. I loved working with you. I can't wait until next year when we can do it in person and I get to, hug your neck. So yes, Five Gold Rings is releasing on Thursday. So Crossroads collection. So those of you who are fans of our Crossroads collections know that basically every book has a theme, and then the final book will tie all the other books together. And they so this collection's theme was one of the main characters had to either be left at the altar or be the one leaving at the altar. And so my book is another Red Blood and Bluegrass book series book, and it is The 7-Year Glitch. And I have Leanne Corwin and Staff Sergeant Timothy Waller, and there was Leanne right after their high school graduation is waiting for him on the courthouse steps, and he doesn't show. And 7 years later, she is a search and rescue volunteer and rescues him from the roof during a flood. And it's the first time she's seen him in 7 years. And they start communicating. And it was a fun book to write. And what's really fun about writing this book is that Susan Tisdale, I adore you. I think that you're like one of the best people on the planet, and I'm so honored that God has put me in your circle. So, so one of the cool things about writing this book is that I'm in the process of planning the Special Forces series. I forget what we titled it. I want to say Love and Honor, but I could be wrong. And so there's 3 books that I'm writing for Revell. There will be a prequel book that I'll write that will release before the one for Revell. And then there will be a book that I release after the 3 release with Revell. So I have a 5-book series basically about a Special Forces unit in different parts of the world doing different fun and wonderful things. And in my first book, there's a combat medic. And then in the rest of the books, there'll be a different combat medic. So as I was putting together the book 7-Year Glitch, Staff Sergeant Timothy Waller is a combat medic in the Special Forces unit. And I thought, I'm going to put him in the rest of these books that I'm writing for Revell. And so that's what I'm going to do. He will be, so what will be really, really cool is that it's not the same series. It's a completely different series in a different, in a different world. But I will so it'll be this married guy. We don't know what his life is going to be like at the time, but we'll know his wife. We'll have already met them, and he will come on board in the 2nd or 3rd book of this series and be an active participant in those books. And so that became really exciting for me as I was writing it. And I had an email from one of my beta readers said that this was her favorite series of books, favorite characters in all of my books. These 2 were her favorite characters, which I thought was a pretty phenomenal thing to see, because I've written some really great characters, and I've written some characters that are my personal favorites. And I sometimes will read a book and say, oh, these were my favorite characters. And then I'll read the next book and say, oh, no, wait, these were my favorite characters. So to have her say, these are my favorite characters you've ever written means a lot to me. And so I'm really excited about the book coming out on Thursday. So it comes out on Thursday. It's an Amazon book. The link to buy it is in the comments of these chats and at YouTube and at Facebook. And I know that the beta readers that are reading it are loving it. They're loving the entire collection, and they're loving the way that the final book ties them all together. And Amanda True, she wrote like a monster of her book at the end is like 90,000 words long. It's like this monster book that ties them all together. And instead of it just being like with the first Crossroads collection, it was out of the blue bouquet. She just had a florist who had like deliveries going wrong, and then we all had the misdelivered floral arrangements in our book. So, but in this one, she actually has her character comes to Cholula, Kentucky, and counsels my characters. So it's like this fantastic series, and all throughout it is her psychologist coming and counseling all of each of the couples. And so you're getting not only like these great love stories, you're getting like biblical relationship counseling. And I think that that's brilliant. And they're Christmas books. So I can't believe October 12th is here. I can't believe that it's the season for all the Christmas books that come out. And if I watched cable television, it would also be the season. I'm sure that Hallmark Channel is already like plugging all the Christmas movies. It's just, that's not my gig. I don't watch the Hallmark Channel. I like, British mysteries. My channel that I stream is BritBox. I like British mysteries, and I like Doctor Who. So, Susan says that her novellas are $90,000 or 90,000 words too. I think it's funny because mine usually come in at like 50, and novellas are supposed to be 20 or 30. Mine come in at 50, 60. And I call those novellas. So, I guess we just talk too much. So anyway, let's see if there was something else I wanted to talk about. Nope, that's it. I have a book to write. I'm finishing Daisy's Decision. I'm halfway through it. And yes, Susan, BritBox. Vera, I just finished okay, I watched Vera on BritBox, and I'm gonna sidebar this, and it's gonna be boring to those of you who don't watch BritBox. However, it's annoying because Vera went from season 4 to season 8. There's like 4 seasons that are not there, and I'm annoyed by that. So I need to see if my library has them, because there's like a brand new guy. I don't even know who he is. And Midsummer Murders, I've watched them all, which is embarrassing because there's like 90,000 seasons and I've seen them all. So, all right, y'all. I have a book to write. I have a daughter coming in town. I'm really upset. Her boss like completely did her wrong, and I'm like emotionally tied into that. And she's 23, so my precious little snowflake daughter isn't going to get, her. I'm not calling her boss and saying shame on you, but I am saying it out loud. Shame on you. It was awful what you did, and I'm so sad for Kaylee, and I know it'll work out. I know that God has already fixed this, and it's, the plan is in place, and the next thing is the next thing. However, people sometimes make me angry, and I can't stand unethical people. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. To you anyway. And y'all have a great week. Thursday, I might come on and talk about 5 Gold Rings some more. If you read it, I would love to hear from you. Don't forget that. Oh, I did have something else to say. A Carol for Kent. A Carol for Kent is on sale for 99 cents until Thursday, because Thursday is the release of 5 Gold Rings. Okay, so A Carol for Kent is serial killer. I have a serial killer who is after my main character, and this book was so fun to write. It's like truly one of my favorite books I've ever written. And the hero, Bobby Kent, is like sexy cowboy hero. So you can't beat this book. So it's 99 cents right now. Get it everywhere. The link will take you to my website, and you can have all the choices of Apple or Barnes & Noble or wherever you want to buy it. But if you haven't read it, I promise, if you like crime, if you like serial killer stories, if you like mysteries, this is your book. Okay, so I will see y'all next